has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chips, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall, coast to coast, in the biggest way possible, right here on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty. We got a very big show. It is a golf Wednesday, of course, on C2C. We've got a bunch of afternoon baseball. We've got some baseball tonight as well. We're getting a little closer. Only one more day for the NBA Finals tomorrow night in Boston. We still have a few more days for the Cup, which will start down in South Florida, coming up on Saturday night with the Panthers and the Oilers. But we have a full slate today on C2C, that's for sure. Gabe Morency joins us, as always, in hour number one. We'll get him going. Dave Aragona from the Daily Racing Form will be with us once again as we get closer to the Belmont Stakes coming up on Saturday, which is at Saratoga this year, as we discussed yesterday. Coach Young will be with us in hour number two for the Lion's Share. We've got Davis Maddock today in hour number two as well. And then a full-blown Golf Wednesday today. Keith Stewart from Read the Line, who's at Muirfield for the Memorial in hour number three. Smiley Kaufman, of course, the Smiley Show here on SportsGrid. He'll be with us in hour number three. And in hour number one, to hang out with me first, and then we'll, of course, get into the picks for our normal Golf Wednesday. That is the Prime Minister, Cam Stewart, getting involved today. Hi, Cam. How are you?
Carver, love you. Not the Prime Minister anymore. After betting the Florida Panthers, the country of Canada has turned on me as a resident of Canada,
Wow.
the big cheese. I'm moving down south, so hopefully you can get me a green card. I got French Open big time right now. Two huge underdogs coming in. Hey, Sabalenka, hit the bricks. All this stuff, like crazy underdogs going on. But I need Zverev, the German, over Duminor, the Aussie, right now to cap off a big parlay. Hey, this is what we do on SportsGrid, Carver. We bet it all. Tennis, golf, baseball. Who cares? If it moves, we bet on it. Let's roll.
Forget the afternoon baseball. Cam's got a French Open sweat going on. With not just one, but multiple matches over at the French Open. Cam is heavily involved with. And that you're talking, it's funny you bet on Florida. I was kind of back and forth on this series, Cam, early in the week. And then after Chris, don't call me Chuck Knobloch yesterday, made that little wisecrack about the Buffalo Bills and experience never mattered to them. Well, guess what, Cam? I am full force on the Panthers now. Full force. I am rooting for the Panthers. I'm betting on the Panthers. I don't need that in my life. Who's this guy, Chuck Knobloch? Take a seat. I hope the Oilers get smashed now in the Stanley Cup final. It's personal, Cam. And I know this, too. Nobody in Toronto is rooting for the Edmonton Oilers. Nobody in Montreal is rooting for the Edmonton Oilers. I just don't believe that, Cam.
I will say this. People in Toronto love Edmonton as their second team, not this guy. And you don't bring the Buffalo Bills into anything that is going on. I'm a fan of Western New York, of Seneca Casinos, everything about Western New York. And this idiot comes on, hey, let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. Hey, buddy, why don't you rip the Leafs? The Bills are got nothing to do with the Stanley Cup final day. Hey, Knobloch, how's your yips? I'm done with that stuff, Carver. I'm with you, buddy. I don't care. I'm Canadian. I couldn't care less about the Oilers struggling. I'm on Florida, and I hope they win the damn Stanley Cup. That's where my money is. Gabe's on Edmonton. We agree to disagree, but I'm going to tell you, I like the Panthers. I like the Panthers in 6.
Well, I'm on the Panthers, baby. That's all that I know. We do have afternoon baseball, as I was mentioning before, a few games that are underway and a few that are about to start. Mm-hmm. The Red Sox now have a 6-0 lead over the Braves at Fenway as they just put a 3-spot up in the bottom of the 5th. Couple of RBI hits by O'Neill, who came off the IL today, by the way, for Boston, and by Smith. So 6-0. Devers had a homer earlier in the game. Maybe the Braves can actually get something cooking here, and maybe some home runs. Olsen, Ozuna, anybody want to go big fly today? That would be just fine with me. The Cardinals lead the Astros 2-0 right now. They are in the top of the 5th in Houston for a getaway day, as you have Blanco going against Mikolas today, and he has shut down the Astros so far. Pena has both the hits for them. Everybody else has done absolutely nothing. We have games about to start as well, including this one, Cam. Let's get your thoughts. The Reds and the Rockies will finish off their series in Colorado. The Reds have pounded them the last couple. Actually, they pounded them the other night. Last night was a little bit closer. That one did not get over last night. Graham Ashcraft and Dakota Hudson are our starters for this. Reds minus $140 plus 120 for Colorado, and another 11.5. Way over the first night, way under the second night, Cam.
I don't know about the total, but I said some pretty crazy stuff to Sherapan. I'm like, I'm riding the Reds. And they've been one of the biggest disappointments, money burners of the first half of the season, Carver, but they figured something out. And a great recipe for success is playing Colorado. Give me the Reds again. I bet them every damn game in this series, and I usually know it's hard to sweep. But I'll tell you, I love the Big Red Machine today. I will lay the juice. This team has been good to me recently, and I'm betting on them. The Rockies reek.
I'm on Spencer Steer to go big fly for the Tater here this afternoon. So let's get Spencer Steer over the wall. I've only tried the last couple nights. Maybe we could finally get him home here this afternoon. The Giants and the Diamondbacks are in Arizona. They start in about a half an hour from now. It'll be Jordan Hicks and Jordan Montgomery, double Jordans today in that one. And a pick'em for the double Jordans, minus 110 both ways, and a flat 8 here. I got to tell you, Cam, like both these teams, pretty underwhelming, to be quite honest with you. They're kind of what they are. They're just a couple games under 500, both of them. Just not that great.
You know what it is, Carver? I am who I am. I'd rather bet on a dumpster fire like the Reds and Rockies. Giants and Diamondbacks, flip a coin. Like I'm in the basement and the guy's got a gun to my head. He's like, who are you going to pick? I don't know. I lean under, I guess, with the pitchers that are in this game right now. Like I'd have nothing. Like this game did not jump out at me. I'd rather bet the Reds, but I lean under with the pitching matchup tonight. I think we can get under 8 runs in this game. I don't know how you feel, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that. Listen, so far, at least the getaway days over in Boston, these getaway days are always tricky with the overs. Boston and Houston so far today are looking like unders. We'll see if it's going to be like that in Arizona. The Brewers are in Philadelphia to finish that series. That starts at the top of the hour. Aaron Ashby and Aaron Nola dueling Aarons. So we had dueling Jordans, and now we have dueling Aarons. Minus 175 for Nola and the Phillies, plus $145 for the Brew Crew, and an 8.5 here.
Wouldn't it be nice if we had dueling parlays, trifectas, and golf winners, Carver? Give me the Philadelphia Phillies in this spot. As we mentioned, the Brewers have been overachieving all year. They're going to have a little bit of a fade job, and I'm riding Cincinnati. I think Philadelphia has a pitching advantage. Give me the Philadelphia Phillies in this spot, buddy. I hope you're on my side.
I like the Phillies today, too, but I like Harper to homer even more. So if we can will that in, that would be perfectly fine with me. And we have the Phillies, by the way, are going to pack their bags for London, Cam. Cheerio, London, after the game. And the Mets are going to join them there after they finish their series with the Washington Nationals. That'll be Luis Severino and Patrick Corbin. Right now, the Mets minus $145. Oof. Plus 120 for the Nats and a 9.5. I'm sorry, Cam. I know that Patrick Corbin's a gas can. I never would lay minus 145 with the Mets against anybody. I don't care who they're playing. I
love your style, Carver. This is a very flammable matchup. But I'm going to say this, maybe over. Like I don't like to lay 50 cents, 45 cents with loser teams either. Hey, I'm a Blue Jay fan. Look what the Orioles are doing to them. They're murdering them. Give me the over in the game. Let's not even worry about a side. Let's rock.
I'm with you because, like I said, I think that we've got some guys who can give up some runs there today. Alonso's got like 5 homers in his career against Corbin. Lindor's got a couple homers in his career against Corbin. So we should be able to ring the bell down there in D.C. So we have lots of afternoon games. We have a night slate that we're going to go over later on in the show as well. We mentioned we'll continue to get a little bit closer to Celtics Mavericks tomorrow night, Panthers Oilers on Saturday, and it is a Golf Wednesday on C2C. Later this hour, me and Cam will do the outrights, the top 10s and 20s, the first-round leader bombs for the Memorial at Muirfield Village in Ohio. Jack's tournament. We also have a little live picks from Cam today as well, as they're going to be down in Houston. Ferrall Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High, Cam Stewart in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. We get it going with Gabe here on C2C right after this.
now you have to qualify in these majors. You got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness. I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
Using the parlays against one another, right, and being able to get a little bit of juice consig, I found to be a little interesting.
Believe me, all the rhombuses and parallelograms are constantly trying to search and find out those things every day. It's one of the battles that you know, as you expand the menu, you encounter new battles.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
How fragile are these guys? It's amazing. They're supposed to be the greatest athletes in the world, and yet they can't walk and chew gum at the same time without getting hurt, for goodness sakes.
That Trout injury really is a bummer, too, because people thought he was going to have a big year. And I look, I don't feel bad for the Angels. I don't like Mike Trout in Anaheim. I thought he should have left when his contract was up.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It's the BetMGM offer of the week. Get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. For all the games in the playoffs. Set your picks and shoot your shot. And turn any game into a must-watch. Download the BetMGM app, and it's on.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. Of course, Gabe Morency's with us every day on C2C. Catch Sports Rage late night, weeknights at 10 p.m. East, right here on the grid. Gabe, good to see you as always, my man. Let's start with this because this caught my eye as well as yours today. I don't think we've had a game this year where the Dodgers have been dogs. Maybe there has been one, but it's an extremely rare occurrence that the Dodgers are not the favorites in a baseball game. They're in Pittsburgh tonight against the Pirates, where they lost 1-0 last night on the Sawinski home run. And, of course, it's because Paul Skeens is going for the Pirates. Minus 115 for the Buccos and minus 105 for the Dodgers, who have the big maple going. I love Skeens, Gabe. I think that he's fun to watch. He hasn't exactly, I know he's got a lot of strikeouts, but he's given up a couple homers. He hasn't exactly been shutting out everyone every time. Why are the Dodgers dogs tonight, Gabe?
The Skeens hype is real, and people just saw the Dodgers get shut out. Listen, the Dodgers offense has been struggling a little bit as of late. It's been a couple of weeks, actually, where they're not really putting up any big crooked numbers in any innings, the Dodgers. They'll get a solo shot here, a solo shot there. The thing is, they're so good that even when they slump, it doesn't really show in their batting average. You know what I mean? like Mookie Betts could be struggling, and you tune in, you're like, yeah, he's still hitting 333 or something. So it hasn't. I'll tell you one thing about the Dodgers. It sounds cliche, Carver. They're not very good, bro, on the West Coast. For when they leave the West Coast and they go into the East Coast and the Midwest, they really are they get in this bubble on the West Coast, and they'll get rolling and stuff. They haven't been a great road team in certain spots. They sort of get bored.
The bottom of their order has been bad as well. But tonight, as you stated, it's almost a classic spot, isn't it? They're coming off a shutout. You got Skeens. His kid's actually favored. And I think the Dodgers are going to rough them up tonight, actually. I think this is going to be one of the welcome to the big league moments, kid. Like, go back to Olivia after the game because Ohtani's going deep on you. They're going to rough you up. And you know they're fired up. They just got shut out. You got some kid. They're underdogs. No one tell Ohtani, don't bring up gambling around him. But somebody's going to say, damn, man, look at this. We're underdogs today. Hey, guys, like, wow, we're underdogs to the Pirates. So all kidding aside, Carver, I do like the Dodgers tonight. And it sounds like you do too.
I love the Dodgers tonight, and I'm with you. I think that some of these guys are going to get him tonight. Like, you're even getting some prices for these Dodgers to homer tonight. And like you said, they have been slumping, so that factors in a little bit. But Ohtani at plus 330, I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but for Ohtani, that's a lot. It's usually like 270, 280, right in that area. So you're getting a little bit on Ohtani. Betts, 540. Teoscar Hernandez, 560. You're getting good homer numbers for the Dodgers tonight.
Wow. Big numbers. And let's just be real, too. This is what everybody wants to see. Ohtani versus Skeens, right? A guy that's going to throw it 102 against a guy that can hit it 130 miles an hour off of his bat. So do the math. I mean, this is the modern baseball that we're in right now, and they do the math, unfortunately. They do the math too much, and that's why we have launch angles and the analytics that we do right now. But it's simple physics, Mike. If Ohtani makes contact with the ball and keeps it in play, it's going over the wall. Like the sheer gravity of it. Like the ball coming in that fast, Ohtani making contact with it, it's gone. I'm definitely getting a piece of Ohtani. I like your style about just spraying the board here with some home run props tonight. Somebody's going deep on him. Dude, power pitchers, that's their thing, right? We all know power pitchers, they'll give up home runs because if you make contact, it won't stay in the park.
That's it, especially for a guy like Skeens who throws it like he does. Is there anything else in baseball for you tonight? Obviously, we have some afternoon stuff going on, but pretty good slate tonight, too. Yankees and Twins are going on. We have the Blue Jays and the Orioles have hammered the Blue Jays the last couple nights, and they'll probably continue to beat them up tonight.
The Orioles, I tell you what, it's not just the Blue Jays. If people are down on the Blue Jays, you know what's amazing, actually? You want to talk about numbers, Mike? The Blue Jays are favored today.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see that yet. Look at that.
Yeah, like think about that. Like making the argument.
And that's
like
weird because all these guys crush Berrios. Rushman, Mountcastle, Asante, they all have huge numbers against Berrios, so that surprises me.
It's a good call. Good eye by you. Dude, Mountcastle, bro, owns the Blue Jays. I remember like 3 years ago, whatnot, when the Orioles weren't good yet. You know what I mean? But I noticed. I was like, these guys don't suck. I was watching them. It was actually versus the Blue Jays. They're like, Mountcastle, this is 9th RBI versus the Blue Jays this year. I was like, man, this Mountcastle guy's pretty good. And I sort of realized then, and Gunnar Henderson, obviously, I could tell, you could see Baltimore, the tide was turning about 3 years ago with this team. And you know it, bro. The Yankees own their asses. Dude, off the top of my head, I remember from a betting perspective, I think the Blue Jays, Mike, were like 36-4 at one point over Baltimore. No, it was like one of those, like they won 16-3 last year against them. Baltimore, remember getting beat up. They're now 13-4. They came in last night 12-4 in division play. Now 13-4. They've been beating up on everybody in the AL East, bro. Pretty crazy. Barrios favored tonight too.
Yeah, that's wild. I didn't realize they were favored in the game. I just looked at because I always look at the home runs in the morning.
Small price, 120.
All these guys destroy Berrios.
How about this one for you, Mike? Yeah. I know you like these type of betting things. Maybe when we're up against it, but you're gonna like this. I got a little thing. There's not bobblehead tonight, but mark it down. As far as Blue Jay bobblehead night, whoever the bobblehead is, they hit a home run.
Okay.
I'm going to go over the history for it. It's not like just, it happened once or twice. It's like, no, man, it's happened like 6-7 times in a row now.
Cam told me before Schneider's going to get whacked if they lose tonight. He says they're going to fire Schneider if they lose tonight against the Orioles. Coast to coast, we're back after this.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Chicago is one of the top media markets in the country, so it makes some sense. But I gotta tell you, Philadelphia, not far behind. Cleveland, Ohio, not far behind. I would guess that precedent is now set.
They now would be paying, based on the last 12 months numbers, they'd be paying an additional $81.6 million in taxes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back from Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us. Gabe Morency's with us for Sports Rage late night, weeknights at 10 p.m. East here on the grid. Before you give me the bobblehead thing, Gabe, because I know you're getting it up, we were just talking about the Oilers and the Panthers on Saturday night. I'll tell you, I was a little bothered yesterday. Who is this guy, this clown Knobloch, taking a swipe at the Bills, Gabe? We don't need that. Taking a swipe at the Bills. Ask them about experience. I was actually leaning towards the Oilers, and maybe I was going to bet him. Forget this guy. I'm on the Panthers guy. He don't take a shot at the Bills. I'm done with him.
I thought that too. I'm like, good for you, bro. You just like, so every Sabre fan's going to be like, I hope they lose now after this. And it's funny because the Oilers beat the Canucks. I was going to the games and stuff, and I got to be real. I'm learning the pure hatred that people in Vancouver have for Edmonton, like now. So I picked the Oilers, and people are mad at me after. They're like, dude, like, how can you do this? You support the Canucks. So they're the better team. I said, and honestly, I'm one of the type of people, like, I'd rather my rival win. You're only as good as your rival. It's like you're only as good as your enemy, or you are who your friends are. So what, you want your rival to suck? No, I want my rival to win. Like, so we say, no, we're the best, and we're going to knock them off now after, right? Same with the Big Ten and stuff. I do fall back onto the conference type of stuff. I'd rather the Big Ten win. You see the same attitude with the SEC. They'll stick together in the end. They hate each other, but in the end, it's SEC, right? Like it's a brand. They'll stick together. I'm not doing it because, they're from Canada or anything. I think the Oilers are the play in the series just from a hockey perspective. But I got to tell you, same thing. After I saw those comments, I'm like, you guys are making it really hard for me. Like, you're making it really, really hard here. And what I don't understand, Mike, is that was 30 years ago.
Right.
Like you don't have any other reference to bring up in the past. It's like, dude, it's like bring up the Minnesota Vikings in the 70s, lost a bunch of Super Bowls, didn't help them. It's like, what the hell does that have to do with anything right now in 2024, bro? Number one, this isn't football. You're not in the Super Bowl. Number two, that was in the early 90s, man. What the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, that bothered me with Knobloch yesterday. So now I'm not on the fence anymore. I'm on the Panthers to win this series. Forget that guy. I'm not going with
At least
him.
we know he's a sports fan. He's a sports historian.
What do you got with the bobbleheads?
Just quick, I looked up quickly after, too. I was like, before I really get mad about this, I got to dig into this a little bit. I want to see, is he a Bills fan or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there some sort of, before we get mad, is there some sort of, no, the guy's from Imperial, Saskatchewan, bro. I don't see how he's a Bills fan. He's from the prairies. How about this guy's story, though, coming out of nowhere, man? Yeah. He was Connor McDavid's junior coach in Erie. And he was an AHL coach, so it wasn't like they pulled him off the street. He was in the American Hockey League, and he worked his way up the ladder and stuff. But they said, you know what? Let's go to Connor's guy. Here they are in the Cup right now. It's not a storyline that people are talking about much. He would only be the 8th coach ever to join a team midseason and win a Stanley Cup. But as far as the Blue Jays, and just so we'll look it up because there's a Bichette bobblehead day coming up soon. So it goes all the way back. Alex Rios, 2009, bobblehead home run. Batista, 2011, bobblehead day, hit a home run. Tulowitzki, 2016, bobblehead day, hit a home run. Donaldson, 2017. Vladimir Guerrero in 2022. It was Vlad Sr., Vlad Jr. bobblehead night. He went deep. Monday night, this past Monday, it was Vlad Day, and he did it again. Yeah. So Bichette is up next year, just for the record. I'm betting it. Bichette to hit a home run.
We'll keep our eyes on that. And one last thing, I saw you tweet this, and me and Joe were actually talking about this yesterday on the show. Can you believe that we're going to spend 2 months again before the college football season with people trying to sell you that Colorado's going to win something this year? 2 months are going to spend people actually burning tickets on Colorado to win the Big 12 or to win anything. Please. Nonsense.
The Colorado Buffaloes, I just retweeted a post. The Colorado Buffaloes are the 4th most bet team to win the national championship this year. And I tweeted out, don't let anybody ever tell you the economy is struggling, Carver. Clearly, it's not.
Kidding me.
When people are burning money on the Colorado Buffaloes, how about you bet will they make a bowl game, Mike? That's the problem. You want a problem?
You got a shot.
Do the Buffaloes make a bowl? Do they go 6-6?
Oh, goodness, it is painful with all
they're
these
talking
people
a lot
betting
of
on
smack
Colorado.
too about how they're going to run up,
we'll
they're going to go into the Big 12 and stuff. Good luck with that.
Sports Rage late night, 10 p.m. East on the Grid. We're back in.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Chicago is one of the top media markets in the country, so it makes some sense. But I gotta tell you, Philadelphia, not far behind. Cleveland, Ohio, not far behind. I would guess that precedent is now set.
They now would be paying, based on the last 12 months numbers, they'd be paying an additional $81.6 million in taxes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We are back from coast to coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty along with the Prime Minister Cam Stewart. And Cam's with me every Wednesday here on C2C on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio, especially when we do the picks and the preview for this week's PGA Tour event, which is the Memorial Jacks Tournament, Muirfield Village in beautiful Dublin, Ohio. Not Dublin, Ireland, Cam, which is why Dublin, Ohio. I went with the green today, even though it's not Dublin, Ireland. They're playing in Dublin, Ohio, so we go with a little green to get us going and maybe to find us our way to the window, Cam. This is a start of a very big stretch here. We have Memorial, U.S. Open, Travelers, Signature, Major, Signature, bang, bang, bang over the next 3 weeks. So I think the big boys, Cam, are who's going to come to play here. We saw Victor Hovland win at the Memorial last year in the playoff over dangerous Denny McCarthy. He's one of our guys at the chalk at the top of this board. We know who the main guys are. Scotty Scheffler at an unplayable price at plus 360. Yep. Rory and Xander are both 9-1. Morikawa and Hovland. And then it gets to Aubert, Cantlay, who won here in 19. And you have JT, etc. Cam, the chalk for the Memorial Tournament this week.
Memorial Tournament, great. You ever notice Jack, since he's running that ice cream stand, Carver, the boiler gets a little bit bigger every year. I love ice cream too, and guys loving playing for Jack. It's all the big boys. They talked about it before. What do you want to do? Impress the Golden Bear so the big boys show up here. You're probably not going to get an underdog at like 200-1. There'll be a couple guys in the mix, but very long course, over 7,500. There's so many difficult lie situations here, and Jack knows you have to be a great ball striker to win at Memorial. And Hovland, he found his game last year. I know he's looking for it now, but this is a very happy place for him. Cantlay has played well here before in the past, so there's a couple guys that really like this tournament, and guys who love Jack always want to impress the Golden Bear. It's going to be a lot of fun this week.
Everybody always wants to impress the Golden Bear, Cam. There's no question about that. Let's get right to it on a Golf Wednesday. The picks for the Memorial. I'll start with, I'm kind of going with a couple guys at the top because, as we said, I don't think this is a jabroni week. This is not a week where you're going to get these 150, 200s. We've seen a lot of them on the PGA Tour this year. Not this week. Colin Morikawa at 14-1 is where I'm going to start. Why, Cam? This guy has been knocking on the door, playing some great golf for the past couple of months. A bunch of top 10s and top 5s, including in some very tough courses. He's won here before. He's played great at Muirfield Village. So Colin Morikawa, top of the chart for me. Victor Hovland, the defending champion. Usually don't love the defending champion angle, Cam, but you saw a little something out of Victor for the first time this year at the PGA Championship. Maybe that rolls right in to a place that he's obviously played very well at in the past. I think we're getting Max Homa on the cheap because he did not play well his last couple of times out. 45-1, always plays well on tough courses, and this is the tough course, Cam. We've seen the winner be 7 under, 9 under, ever since the remodel a few years ago. There ain't going to be any 20 unders this week at Jack's tournament, so you got to be able to play on tough courses, and I'll give you a couple bombs here. Bombs in terms of a little bit longer than the chalk. 75-1 for Keegan Bradley, as this is just another instance for me with a guy who's been playing some pretty good golf lately that could be hanging around on Sunday. And dangerous Denny McCarthy, purely, Cam, off of how he played here last year and in previous years. He has knocked on the door at Muirfield Village, and maybe he could kick it down with an 80-1 this week.
You know what? I love your long shot picks because Keegan hits it a long way, and if he gets the putter going, this is a perfect fit for the course. And dangerous Denny McCarthy does all the little things well that you'll need at Muirfield because it's very, very tricky. Carver, we're reading each other's mail. We don't even talk before we do this. I'm on Morikawa. Less guys, more units. Give me Morikawa. He is so damn due, and if he was a little bit longer, I'd even smash him harder. This is a perfect course for him, 14-1, fairways and greens. Victor Hovland, you're right. He's starting to turn it around. Abe Aubert, 25-1, perfect type of guy, murders the golf ball. You know what? My underdog is Sepp Straka. He gets no respect in the golfing world. Me and you've been betting him all the time, and the guy always is a top 20 guy. Going to give me Sepp Straka at 66-1? You're damn right I'm going to knock through the door. So 4 guys this week. I might add another because I respect your picks, but that's what we're doing. It's a chalky week.
You know, I actually saw an Aubert for 30 somewhere this morning.
What?
I probably should have went and grabbed it.
Click.
I might have to go back over and see if that's still available to me. I'm going to go see if I can find that 30 on Ludwig Aubert. Here's the placements for me. Patrick Cantlay, he has not had a good year. Maybe he gets a little juiced up, Cam, that his buddy is now a couple steps ahead of him, Xander Schauffele, winning his first major. Cantlay not there yet. U.S. Open next week. Maybe Cantlay ramps his game up a top 10 at plus 220. Siwoo Kim is a monster at this place. I think he's got 4 or 5 top 20s in a row. A couple of those are in the top 10. Plus 360. I've seen a lot of people pick him to win as well, Cam. Maybe that will be a late ad for me, but I'm going to go with Siwoo. Dangerous Denny, I'll back him up with a T10 at plus 450. Sahith Theegala, top 20 at plus 140. The Irish Bear has hung around. I'll probably end up, if I get a good number, playing him, Cam, but he just hasn't crossed the line for me. But he's been there for these T20s, so plus 190. And Kurt Kitayama on a tough course at plus 240 for a top 20.
We're reading each other's mail. Here's the deal. Cantlay used to love this tournament. He's just not in great form, but he always seems to show up for Jack. That's the guy he idolizes, and Jack likes him. He mentored him. Top 10, Cantlay, plus 220. I'm with you on Homa. Might not win, but for a top 20 at plus money, I got to be in. You got a better number than me with Theegala, but he hits it a mile, and that's what you need at this course at plus 115. Will Zalatoris, you'll break your heart in the winner's circle, but for a top 20, I'm there. And Carver, in my throat. Ricola, Austin Eckroat, in my throat. Let's go. I'm telling you, this guy murders it, and I know he hasn't been perfect, but you want to give me 3-1 for a top 20? I'll play him top 30 and 42. Eckroat is going to be my pooch this week. I think he shows up on page 1 or 2 of the leaderboard.
First round leaders. It's hard for bombs this week because there's only 73 golfers in the field. Nice job. How about Bobby Mack saying, no thanks, I'm going to go get hammered all week at home in Scotland.
Yeah, and pay his parents more than. What a great guy.
I am so upset at myself, Cam, that we weren't on Bobby Mack last week. We've been on him so much in the last few years that I'm upset we missed out on him. First round leaders, there's Sepp Straka, Cam. He's on my card. First round leader at 50-1. There's Dangerous Denny again at 55. Ben Griffin playing some good golf the past couple weeks at 70-1. Davis Thompson at 70. Cam Davis just got a spot in the U.S. Open of a playoff off of Adam Scott. 80-1 for him. And Chris got her up and get him down at 90-1. Got her up and get him down, Cam. Let's go.
Fill her up. Got her up. Let's go. I'm going to go with Victor at 22-1. Off to a hot start. Aubert at 30. Theegala's a guy that likes to get her the gate hot. I'm with you on Straka. Thompson's water seal. You got a bad deck? Don't worry. Davis Thompson will fix it. Beautiful product at 71. And Austin Eckroat, as I told you, 75-1. My first round leader out of the gate. Bam. Let's go, Carver.
Austin Eckroat. Cam big on Eckroat. I'll have to do something for Eckroat now here this week. I have to have some rooting interest with
finish last.
I'm on. 73 golfers at Muirfield Village for the Memorial. Now, there's actually, Cam, me and you are going to do a little extended Golf Wednesday this week. Usually one segment, we give you the PGA, we're done. A live event in Houston. Me and Brady talked about it yesterday, but I don't think we talked about it enough, Cam. I want to get your plays for live golf down in Houston. I even have a little Bryson DeChambeau for you as well, as he was speaking this morning. So we'll do a little live preview as they got to get ready for the U.S. Open also, especially Bryson, who came so close last month at the PGA Championship. Can he get it done at Pinehurst? We shall see. Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Wednesday, a Golf Wednesday on C2C. Carver High, Cam Stewart in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. We will come back, finish off Golf Wednesdays with a little live talk down in Houston this weekend. We're back on the grid right after this.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Chicago is one of the top media markets in the country, so it makes some sense. But I gotta tell you, Philadelphia, not far behind. Cleveland, Ohio, not far behind. I would guess that precedent is now set.
They now would be paying, based on the last 12 months numbers, they'd be paying an additional $81.6 million in taxes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We are back from Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver Hine, Cam Stewart, and for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you. BetMGM has you ready for baseball season. How about their Swing for the Fences free-to-play promotion? Once a day, you could play on your BetMGM Sportsbook app for a chance to win daily prizes. You play as the batter and you pick an area of the strike zone, get a single, double, triple, home run, or a flyout. You can play once per day. This is a free-to-play promotion on your BetMGM Sportsbook app. Account holders who play will have an opportunity to win a reward if they get a hit. Those rewards include parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, SGP boost tokens, bonus spins in states that have casinos, and bonus bets. All rewards expire in 24 hours. Swing for the Fences, free-to-play promotion on your BetMGM Sportsbook app. Go and get it done. All right, Cam, Golf Wednesdays rolls on here. We have Liv down in Houston this week. I'm going to get some of your picks. Brady gave me his yesterday. He had some good ones. But I want to start with Bryson because, of course, he's coming off. We haven't seen Bryson since that tremendous effort at the PGA Championship where he finished second to Xander Schauffele. I mean, tied what would have been previously a major record at 20 under, and Xander ends up shooting
We had him, too.
under.
Did we not have
sure
him?
did.
Damn right we did.
sure did. We had him all right. Unfortunately, didn't finish across the line, so he's going to be trying again at the U.S. Open next week, but he has an event in Houston for Live First. We'll start with Bryson here, saying that, how about this, Cam? For a guy that shot 20 under and finished second, actually says he wasn't even hitting the ball great at the PGA Championship or going into the PGA Championship. But can you believe this guy? Here's Bryson.
Equipment was working fine, just wasn't swinging at my best, and I figured out some stuff after the PGA, which is great, but too late, obviously for that. But again, I wasn't hitting my best, and it was just really surprising at having myself just be up at the top of that leaderboard on Sunday. I was certainly shocked and surprised for myself a little bit, just based on the way I was hitting it. Made everything, and that's ultimately why I got up in that level and played. Ultimately, had a chance to win, but I was frustrated, disappointed not to win. I wanted 2 Live players to win that PGA Championship in back-to-back years. That'd have been cool.
That would have been cool, Cam. And listen, I'm actually kind of surprised to hear him say that. Now, I do remember he hit some bomb putts during that weekend as well. But I thought he played great. So it's good to know that Bryson's still a very hard critic of himself.
I tell you, what is this, Movember? I'm looking at Johnson Wagner's
About the
mustache.
stash.
That's thicker than honest to God, he's thicker than like that thing. My buddy's like, is that real? And now he's rocking a thick stash, and Graham Dillette thinks he's rolling fingers. Like, what's the deal with these guys with their stashes? Anyway, DeChambeau's 8-1 this week. I looked at him, Carver. I wanted a little bit more, so we went in a different direction. But DeChambeau is playing great golf, and all of a sudden, he's man of the people.
I'm not going to lie. I did stash a couple for the U.S. Open for him after the PGA when he was playing so well that weekend.
Yes,
you knew I was going to have a couple put it with the golf with some homers. One more from Bryson, and then we'll give you the picks. What has changed for him, Cam? Because me and you actually were discussing it during the break. It's like he's like a different guy, and his public perception also has changed a lot as well. Really, I'm not even before the PGA Championship. I feel like that started to happen. Here's Bryson.
I think it's me getting a little bit older and realizing, what we're doing out here is obviously trying to win a lot of tournaments every single week. We're trying to win each and every week, but you realize quite quickly, at least I've started to realize quite quickly, that we're entertainers. We're out here doing a job, but we're also entertaining the fans. We're trying to grow the game, trying to show the fans what we're all about. And I think it's important for people to see and understand that. And so as I've gotten older, I've realized I've always kind of been a bit of a showman. I've done some weird things in the past, different things in the past, but really showing my true colors and being able to allow myself to fully become, how do I say, positively emotional. I don't know if that's the way to describe it.
Positively emotional, Cam.
This guy.
Have you found a way to be positively emotional yet?
What the hell is this guy talking about? He's a cruise ship comedian all of a sudden? I know, you're right, though. And now Brooks Koepka's the villain, and he's the good guy. Remember?
He's an entertainer.
Yes.
You see the YouTube video of him with the old clubs and the old knickers, and he's down there. I mean, it's incredible what this guy's become recently. Let me get, here's who I have, Cam, and then I'm going to let you go through, because I gave mine quickly yesterday. I have Rahm because I just think he's going to eventually win one of these LIV tournaments. I find it hard to believe halfway through the year that he's not going to win a LIV tournament at some point. Answer plays great at Houston, 16. Gooch plays great at Houston. Carlos Ortiz plays great at Houston. And how about a little Kokrak down in Texas, Cam, at 80-1?
Yep. Ooh, the dangerous drug, Jason Kokrak. You know what? We got a couple guys. Gooch, the bully from the different strokes, I'm on him, 15-1. I found Answer at 22. Let's go with a feisty Belgium and Thomas Peterson. Oh, my God, don't look now. It's Dick Bland, who won in the senior major last week. Bland, he wants more money, and he's ready to rock. Give me Dickie Bland at 55-1 to shock the world. Let's go,
I gotta tell you, he's been
playing good.
He's been playing really good
Damn
golf.
right he is. Yep.
Even before winning that PGA Senior, I felt like he played well at a couple. Didn't he? He was in a couple DP World Tour events. He was in couple events.
5
that he played well in before that. So our boy Bland getting involved, that's for sure. And do you agree with me on Rahm? I think Rahm's been top 10 in almost every tournament. There's no way. And here's the other thing with Rahm, Cam. He was awful at both the majors so far this year. Masters and the PGA Championship, he was awful. You got to think he wants a really good tune-up before next week at Pinehurst. He wants to show himself back a little bit.
That's the thing. Rahm's been disappointing. He's got to have a good performance. Even if he doesn't win, he needs a top 5, and he's got to get in the groove, because I'll tell you, Carver, he's been one of the biggest disappointments in golf so far. You thought Rahm was going to walk away with it. Now it's like DeChambeau and other guys on LIV. So, Rahm, time to step up, buddy, if you're one of the best. It starts this week.
Hey, make sure you stash a Dean Burmeister ticket next week too. He qualified on Monday for the U.S. Open. He's had a great year too so far this year. So make sure you do that. Cam, tremendous job as always here on Golf Wednesdays on Ferrall Coast to Coast. We are here in for Scotty Carver. Hi, Cam Stewart. Joe's going to be with me at the top of the hour. But next, Dave Aragona, Daily Racing Form, Belmont Stakes coming up on Saturday. We're back with Dave after this.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than game time decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Chicago is one of the top media markets in the country, so it makes some sense. But I gotta tell you, Philadelphia, not far behind. Cleveland, Ohio, not far behind. I would guess that precedent is now set.
They now would be paying, based on the last 12 months numbers, they'd be paying an additional $81.6 million in taxes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back from Coast to Coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us. Of course, we are getting closer to Saturday, the third leg of the Triple Crown, the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga this year. Dave Aragona has been with us from the Daily Racing Form throughout the Triple Crown here on C2C, and he is back with us again here today. Dave, good to see you as always, my man. Yesterday we kind of talked about the race in general. Now we got to get down to business. Who do we like in this race on Saturday? So let's start with your number one pick that I see here, which is the 8-horse Honor Marie. Tell me a little bit about the 8.
Yeah, I'm somebody who always likes to look for a little bit of value in this race, a horse that might be flying under the radar, going to be the right price. And I think the number 8, Honor Marie, fits that bill. He's a horse that I was interested in going into the Kentucky Derby, who was actually my second pick in that race. And I just don't think we got to find out how good he is in that race because his trip was just a nightmare. It was like somebody released the lever on a pinball machine at the start, the way he was getting bounced around between horses at the beginning of that race. He's a horse that likes to come from the back of the pack anyway, but you don't want to take as many bumps as he did coming out of the starting gate. It really threw him off. He could never get into a comfortable rhythm that day. Did make a mild late run, but now he's had some time off since then. He's one of the horses who skipped the Preakness coming into this race as a fresh horse, reportedly training well for this at Churchill. So I think he's going to run a lot better in this race. Is he good enough to upset some of the horses that beat him last time? Don't know, but I think the price is going to be right to find out.
Next, we will go to, of course, Seize the Gray, coming off a very good performance of their own, the number 1 horse.
Yeah, Seize the Gray, he was the Preakness winner, caused an upset to get the job done that day, led every step of the way. I think he's going to lead again here. You could see in the bottom right of the screen our Timeform US Pace Projector, one of our past performance features at Daily Racing Form. He's projected to lead this field early based on the fast paces that he set in some of his recent races. And his trainer, Dwayne Lucas, one of the legends of the game, when he gets these horses into good form, they typically hold their form. And I don't want to regard his Preakness as just a fluke because the track was wet. I think he might be a horse that's improving at the right time. I'm going to take him seriously in this race, and he's likely to be around the 4th choice, so I don't think he's going to get the respect he deserves.
Probably not. I like that horse. Performed very well for me at the Preakness, obviously, with that victory. Next, the morning line favorite, as we discussed yesterday, Sierra Leone.
Yeah, he's the most likely winner of the race. I'm not going to argue with anybody who thinks that he is just better than these horses, but I don't think you're going to get paid. I made him 9-5 on the morning line. I'm going to be surprised if he goes off too much higher than that, might even go lower. I just think the consensus out of the Derby is that he was a little unlucky that day, lugging in, only lost by a nose to Mystic Dan, and he's coming into Saratoga as a fresh horse, probably going to run his race and do well. He's just a horse whose greatest asset is his consistency, but based on his numbers, speed figures, which rate how fast the horses run, he doesn't have some major edge over this field, so I don't think he's worth the short price, but I do expect him to be somewhere in the trifecta.
And finally, you go a little bit deeper down the board, which we always love at 15-1, and that is with the 6-horse Dornoch.
Yeah, just trying to find some bigger price to highlight in this race. And I'll be honest, I was not the biggest fan of Dornoch through the early part of the season. Didn't really like his chances in the Kentucky Derby. But if you're looking for the horse that got the worst trip of anybody in the Kentucky Derby, it was Dornoch. Breaking from the inside post position right down towards the rail is almost always a recipe for trouble. And that's where he broke from and got cut off in the early stages and just really found trouble at every juncture of that race and actually did okay to beat home half the field. He still has to run better than he ever has so far during this 3-year-old season, but he's not getting any respect coming into this race, and I think he's going to run better than he did on Derby Day.
There you go. I love it, Dave. Let me give you one that I've had my eye on because when I'm hopping in for these races, I am a very big jockey and trainer combo, and Pletcher and Velasquez, that sticks out to me when I look at the board for the number 5 horse, Antiquarian.
Yeah, he's a horse who's coming into this race with some upside. He was the winner of the Peter Pan, not competing in any of the Triple Crown events so far, but the Peter Pan is the local New York prep for the Belmont Stakes. And actually, last year, Arcangelo, the Belmont winner, came out of the Peter Pan. So it is a race that has produced Belmont winners in the past and even recently. He's a horse that's a lot of upside coming in here. As you said, John Velasquez, Todd Pletcher, they're a potent combination. And I think he is a horse that's going to get the distance. It's just a question of whether or not he's capable of stepping up against these tougher horses.
I got like 20 seconds, Dave. We didn't mention Mystic Dan once. I guess Mystic Dan out of gas at third race here, the only one to go all these races?
Yeah, I'm wondering if he can deliver another peak effort as the only horse to compete in all 3, but he's been underrated before, and I don't want to totally discount him.
Dave, tremendous job as always. David Aragona, daily racing form here with us all week on Coast to Coast as we get ready for the stakes on Saturday. We're back after this.
The Warriors learn some of that split action that they run offensively and bring it to your own team. Folks, the name is Kenny Atkinson. Every time there is a job with a young core that needs to take the next step, I always think of Kenny Atkinson.
Only on SportsGrid.
The numbers might look crazy, especially depending on where you think Jared Goff falls in the National Football League. I would consider him, maybe as crazy as this sounds, a top 10 quarterback.
And again, the theory behind paying your quarterbacks and your top-rated players, pay them earlier. The longer you wait, it only costs you money. If you have a top-flight wide receiver, pay him here.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. To your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 years, 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Like, Michael Penix is a walking injury. Like, what are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Using the parlays against one another, right, and being able to get a little bit of juice consig, I found to be a little interesting.
Believe me, all the rhombuses and parallelograms are constantly trying to search and find out those things every day. It's one of the battles that you know, as you expand the menu, you encounter new battles.
Game time decisions. only on SportsGrid.